Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Michelle Scoggins, and I've not really been on YouTube that much recently, only because I've been really busy at work. But given our recent crisis and where we all are, I'm coming to you from my house, my little plant in the back here. So I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about the anxieties that everyone is feeling with the coronavirus, and then for those of us in different areas of the United States that have been placed on either voluntary or mandatory quarantine. At this point, I'm in Fresno, California, which is in the Central Valley, and we're on a voluntary quarantine until March 31st. So I normally do therapy from my office, but I've closed that since Tuesday. I closed that and have transitioned all of my clients to online therapy sessions. Most of that has been very easily done and it went very well, better than I had expected. So I had a lot of anxieties going into going only online, as most of my clients that I do serve come into the office to see me. So for this video, I kind of want to lay out some things of like this new sense of normalcy. Like, what does our lives look like now that we are as a whole quarantined in some fashion? And what that's going to look like long term, and how do we mentally survive this. So that is what I'll be talking about today, is more so is how do we mentally stay well within being quarantined, and this being, sometimes it feels like we're forced at this against our own will. But I think that I won't go into any of the medical stuff about the suggested quarantines or anything like that, because this video here is mainly to help people get through this and to reduce your anxiety and for us to carry on as a whole. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 things that I think will help in terms of reducing your anxiety. You could take them in whatever order you want them. You can make them as elaborative as you would like. I encourage you all to get creative, because if you're at home right now, the only thing that we have are our own devices, and to be creative as we want to be or can be. So first and foremost, I think that we should all limit our time that we're watching the news. Maybe you watch the news first thing in the morning and possibly before you go to bed, but try not to binge watch the news. It's very hard to get away from, because this is something that is very scary for the most of us, and we don't know the direction in which our world is going at this point. So the only way to help us with that, we feel, is to watch the news. However, the news is then amping up some of our anxieties. So I would say that you pick a time of day that you would like to watch the news, and only do it during that time frame. The second thing I would suggest is, and probably the funnest, is start a new hobby. If it's something that you've been wanting to do for a while, but you just have held back or didn't have the time, didn't have the extra effort to give, I would say start a new hobby. For myself, I didn't know this was coming, obviously, but I just started a new container garden. So that gives me time to go out and actually tend to my plants, enjoy being outdoors and watering, watching them grow. So for yourself, it might not be gardening, but it may be drawing, picking up a musical instrument, crocheting, building something, whatever it may be. Finding something that you haven't typically done in the past, it's kind of uncharted territory for you, and try something new. So the third thing I say is, and for me would be the least favorite, is catching up on chores. All of us are uber busy, and we kind of run through the house on our way out and then run home on our way to bed, and we miss a lot of things in between. So this may be a chance for us to get things organized, get things cleaned up, but it also allows us that freedom that our mind isn't consumed by the coronavirus. So being able to just have another activity that you're doing. Again, my least favorite, but it will be something I surely get into before I get back to work. The fourth thing that I would suggest is to just get outside. We're abiding by the recommended social distancing, but you can go in your own backyard. You can go in your own front yard. You can drive to the park. If you aren't on a mandatory quarantine, that is. If you're still in a voluntary quarantine, you can go to the parks. But just if you, no matter what type of quarantine you're on, you can get outside. As we saw on the news and television programs, that in Italy, people were exercising out on their balconies. So getting out, getting moving, and along with getting outdoors is maybe implementing some sort of exercise routine that you may have wanted to do but didn't have the time to do. So right now it's all about, we have this at a time, how do we utilize it in a way that isn't allowing the anxiety to just fuel? So get outside, get sunlight. Don't just stay hoarded and cooped up in the house, but then also don't be outside more often than you need to be around a lot of people. And the last thing that I think is very, very important is stay connected to friends, family, and coworkers, whether that's by Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, FaceTime. If you have like a Zoom conference call with your coworkers, just in some fashion, keep connected to people, because as humans, we are very much social people. So the more that we stay indoors and isolated from people, the more likely that we will then become depressed in some way. So I say get around people, but do it remotely. So for many of you, this time off is going to really maybe test your patience or help you out in a way, in the sense that you're going to get really tech savvy. So if you don't know technology, grab some young kid that is around you, maybe a grandkid or a younger niece or nephew that you have, that can help you and walk you through getting on some of these social platforms, that so that you can stay connected with them. So I totally encourage getting into something new, even if it is starting a YouTube channel or starting, I just got on TikTok yesterday. I think that's for a really young crowd, but it's entertaining for me. I don't know that I'll put any videos out there because I don't think I'm that entertaining. But anyhow, again, I'll wrap it back up. The 5 things I think that you should work on improving during this crisis time to reduce your anxiety and show that we can beat this coronavirus both physically and emotionally is to limit your news watching time. Start a new hobby. Get into something new that you haven't done before. Catch up on old chores. Again, that's my least favorite, but again, I'll get it done. 4th is get outside. Get some sunlight, get around just the birds, the noise of outside. I can hear the birds outside my window. That's why I thought of birds. The last one is connecting with friends, family, and coworkers. Just get virtually connected to them, and that we can show that we will be successful and we will overcome this crisis, and we will get back to a new sense of normalcy. So that is all I have for this video. I plan on, because of time, I have now more time, I will get out some more videos, different ways that I feel that we can kind of come together and fight this crisis virtually. So if you really like this video and like the content and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all soon. Thanks, and have a wonderful day, and be safe out there.